cross over and get to Parliament because our parliamentary correspondent, Kweku Asante, is in Parliament now. Speaker Alban Bagbin is recalled Parliament following a request by the NPP group. And so today Parliament will be sitting. Yesterday, the Speaker addressed Ghanaians and he talked about, the power play in here. But Kweku, good morning and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, Winston.
Great. So, Kweku, tell us, you are in Parliament today. What's happening so far, and what have you been picking up?
So, Winston, is about our friend is the Chamber of Parliament, the makeshift Chamber of Parliament situated at the dome of the conference center was opened. As we speak, there is not a single NPP MP in sight, but about 50 NDC MPs, some of them coming in very early as 7 a.m., have already taken their seats. And true to their word, I should say, they have taken the right-hand side of the speaker, the majority side, because, like they said that given the events that have happened in the last few weeks, that makes them the majority in the House, and they are not going to relinquish that. And so just like the last time, they have taken the right-hand side of the speaker, the majority side. They are having talks among each other. I just see the leader himself, Dr. Kasiratu Forsen, his deputy, Emmanuel Lamagufibo, and the chief whip, Kwame Gavin Sagoja. There is the former deputy minority leader, James Klocha Abeji, a number of the NDC MPs, Sam George, a number of them numbering up to 50, already taking their seats in the majority pews of the House because they say they are the majority in the House. The NDC MP, which requested this sitting, is yet to arrive. None of them. In fact, the last time Parliament started like this, the chief whip, Frank Anodompre, was in the chamber before the NDC side overran them and took over the majority side. And so, Winston, that is the story here. 50 NDC MPs have already taken their seats, and they are sitting on the right-hand side, the majority pews, and then there are no NPP MPs inside as we speak, with barely 1 hour for the Speaker to come in and cover the House in session.
When it comes to the NPP MPs, are they in their offices? I mean, what have you been gathering on the ground?
Ultimately, we're expecting that there will be some caucus meeting of a sort. We understand that hasn't happened, and perhaps will happen this morning, or may not happen. But the talk, especially from the backbench, is that the leadership will have to show them the way in terms of what exactly they have to do. The last time, they boycotted proceedings because they did not get the majority side to sit, and that is why the Speaker of Parliament indefinitely adjourned proceedings because there will be no quorum to transact business, to actually decide matters on the floor of the House. If they decide not to show up today again, or perhaps boycott proceedings, that will mean, given that they are the ones who requested the sitting and the urgent government business they have listed to say that they want to transact all these before the 8th Parliament expires, that will not send a very good signal, and the NDC MPs may perhaps use that as an excuse to say that all these emergency sittings that the NPP side have been requested are simply in bad faith. And so they are keeping their strategy very close to their chest. This morning, since I've been here, I've been trying to speak to some members of their leadership, try to get some understanding as to what exactly they intend to do today. They are not willing to give out much, except to say that in the coming hours we'll get to know what exactly it is that they wish to do. Because they are on a leash, really, because at 10 o'clock, if the Speaker of Parliament comes in and they are not here, that leaves just the NDC MPs. And if you have all NDC MPs, even including that one NDC MP whose seat was declared vacant, Peter Yakwachaka, that is 137. That is not enough to form the quorum to take decisions. And then the Speaker of Parliament will perhaps use the same precedent that he used to adjourn the House indefinitely last 2 weeks as basis to adjourn the House. And so the NDC MPs would have to decide what exactly they have to do or they want to do in the next 1 hour. Because when the Speaker takes his seat and they are not here, there will be no quorum to take decisions, and perhaps even the NDC MPs themselves will raise the issue as regards to quorum and urge the Speaker to adjourn proceedings.
Great. Hold on, Kweku Asante, our parliamentary affairs correspondent, because we've also been joined by private legal practitioner Martin Kpebu. Martin, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, Winston. Morning.
Great. Martin, so with you, let's look at the Speaker's, press conference yesterday. He talked about power play, he talks about the interference, he talks about the conniving of the executive and the judiciary to interfere in Parliament. First of all, what is your take on what the speaker said before we get into the signal he gives in his press conference?
I lost a little bit. So you said which part? The signal he gave.
No, that's later. We'll talk about that later. But first, let's talk about what you make generally of what the speaker
Okay.
said.
Press conference.
Yes.
Oh yes, it's in the right direction. Absolutely, it's good that the speaker came out and spoke his mind, because you see, with which this stage now development, that we need to confront the truth. And so if we keep playing ostrich, that just because we say the Supreme Court has final powers of interpretation, anything they say goes. One day this country will implode. So it's good we've made it very clear to the Supreme Court that no, we don't feel what they did in this case is justice at all. This is not justice. And you see, I mean, sometimes the way the Supreme Court dealt with this case is as if there are no other lawyers in this country and people wouldn't have understood what went on. It's terribly bad. And I'm sure we've made that very clear in earlier interviews. So it's good the speaker has added his voice that, I mean, what the court did is bad. That is not justice. Also, it's going to contribute to chaos.
But now that he's talked about what the court did, he's entitled to his opinion, he still has a decision to make. Did you get the signal from his speech that... Oh, I think we've lost Martin Kpebu. We'll try and raise Martin Kpebu again. I wanted to find out whether he got the signal from the speaker's speech that the seats of those MPs are still vacant and thus cannot be in power. Let me get back to Martin Kpebu and Kweku Asante, who've both joined us again. So, Martin, when you listen to the speaker, do you get the signal that he's going to abide by the Supreme Court ruling, or you get the signal that he will still stand his ground and insist that those seats have been declared vacant? Hello, Martin?
Yes, wait. Sorry, yes, I was off a bit.
Sure. Did you get the question? I was asking that when you listen to the speaker, what signal do you get? Do you get a signal he's going to abide by the Supreme Court ruling, or he's going to insist that those seats have been declared vacant?
Speaking from law, the speaker cannot openly say he will not abide by the Supreme Court ruling. He cannot, right? So what I see is that actually being a politician, he will be open to maneuvers that will send a strong signal to the Supreme Court that the decision is not on. I mean, let's be very openly. The speaker is not daft, so it will be ridiculous and very, very amateurish for him to come out and say he will not abide by the Supreme Court decision. Not like the way Prime Minister Kusia said that no court can direct him, no court, you see. So speaker knows from history that it would be suicidal for him to openly say he won't abide by the Supreme Court decision. But politicians, as you know then, naturally he will be open to maneuvers that would make sure that there is a pushback. And that pushback helps. It helps the court to see that there is a limit to what the court can do. As I made the point earlier, it's not as if just because we said the Supreme Court has final powers of interpretation, then even when the occasion has not arisen, then they would come in and say what they feel like it should be done. You see, so a pushback is very, very necessary. As I said, we have to speak openly. I don't like this ostrich thing.
Okay.
A pushback is necessary to send a signal to the Supreme Court that there's a limit to what they have to do. There's a limit. When they say you are the final arbiter, it doesn't mean even when the opportunity hasn't arisen, you get up and start speaking. Maybe if my English is not that standard, let's come to chief. You see how they say, opinion je manti. Opinion je manti. So the elder doesn't speak in a rush. No. It doesn't speak in a rush. Because for my life, I still can't believe the rash manner in which they went about the case. It's as if hell was breaking loose that day. When Parliament was yet to be recalled on the 22nd, and this decision was on the 18th, the rush was such an indecent heat that I just have lost track for the work that the Supreme Court has done on this case. And that is how other citizens have felt. And it's good that they get a strong pushback that there's a limit to police jail maximum. And in law, that's what they are arguing. For them to have exhausted all those that are trying to get the speaker said and coming back to getting the speaker to come into court before a decision is taken. And you remember that even the Chief Justice had agreed with the speaker, and they came out with a circular that the speaker can be served only on Monday. Only on Monday, because they realized that Article 117 prohibits service when Parliament is in session. Yet, can you believe that day in the ruling, the Supreme Court is now alleging that, oh no, that circular actually says the speaker can be served every day. I have looked at it a few times more, and I don't see. You see Monday clearly written there. I don't know if you have the circular. It says, serve the speaker on Monday during working hours. Yeah, the Supreme Court in this decision, the second one, when the speaker applied to set aside the suspension of his order.
Okay.
It says that, oh, the circular says it can be served every day. It's not borne out by the circular. So a pushback is very necessary. In a democracy, when somebody is overstepping his bounds, he has to be put in order. It's very, very necessary. That's why even though we say we are all law-abiding citizens, by this positive defiance, when the masses of the people get up and say this law will not work, what do? You pull it back. Is that not what we've done to LI 2462, the mining in the forest reserve? Yes, it's a law passed by Parliament, but when the citizens stood up and said, no, don't mine the forest, what have we done? We are on our way to pulling it back. So in the same way, a Supreme Court decision that doesn't fit with our sense of justice, as Article 125 gives the people to have their sense of justice, yeah, the citizens can push back, and so the Supreme Court will know what to do with such a decision. So please, let nobody say that anything the Supreme Court says will be implemented by hook or crook. That is not law. It's enough of the citizens feel that this is not good law. They will rise, and the Supreme Court knows what to do with this decision.
All right, Martin, thank you very, very much. Let me just finish with Kweku Asante. Martin Kweku is a private legal practitioner. Kweku, has anything changed? Have you seen any of the NPP members now?
Well, no change. Perhaps the bigger change is that we expect that very soon the Speaker of Parliament will come in, because I've seen some of his advanced team. They've already come in, they've checked the seats, they've checked around. His security team has checked all that detail. We expect that very soon his convoy will come in. He is in his office as we speak, and he has not come down to the Accra International Conference Center where the House is currently sitting. The other change is that more NDC MPs are arriving. The majority side is now filling up. There are about 70 NDC MPs that are currently on the floor now, who are taking their seats and waiting for the Speaker of Parliament to gather the House in session. However, their colleagues on the minority side are not here. There are no indication as whether they are coming or not.
Thank you very much, Kweku Asante, our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, for that update.